Hey, house guests! Welcome to today's Big Brother 23 updates and spoilers. I'm exhausted. These house guests do not want me to sleep or rest or have a life or anything. I'm pretty sure my left eyeball is going to pop out of my head soon. But anyway, thank you all so much for being here. We're going to have some fun today. So, our house guests of the day are Jeff and Amy Jo White and Christine Caruso. Thank you all so much for the support. We could not do this without you, and we appreciate it so much. So thank you again. And if you guys want to be house guests of the day, check out our Patreon link in the info box below. It's only $1 for a holla. Woo! All right. And before we get going, I also want to thank yesterday's super chatters, of which there were many, because that is a great way to support our channel and keep us doing what we're doing. So Sheena123, Jefferson Tucker a bunch of times, Daisha Dawn, Louise Dory, Dawn MH302, Alex Paredes, Dr. Dave Allen, Shane Shaji, Sunflower Seeds, Fruit Loop Dingus, Bynum's Business, I'm so sorry if I said your name wrong again, Adley Bruges, and Nonye N. Thank you all so much for the super chats yesterday. We really do appreciate it. So let's get started because we have a lot to discuss. So when we left off yesterday, Christian and Sarah Beth are up on the block. Now we know that Christian is Derek X's target. He has been all week because Derek X was like, I'm going to do this backdoor plan. It's going to be awesome. And he followed through on it. So it seemed like the vote would be 7-2 for Christian to go. However, Christian and Alyssa have been campaigning like crazy ever since the power veto ceremony. The campaigning hasn't been really helping with the votes that much as of yet, but you'll see today. There's some crazy stuff coming up. So Brittany and Big D have been telling Christian that he has their votes. That's a lie. They're just trying to keep him comfortable at this point. And Christian is also under the impression that he just needs to lock in Oz's vote. But she is also not voting for Christian to stay. She's just kind of stringing him along right now and telling him, like, I need more time to think about it. I need more time. So, yeah, she's not voting for him to stay. So Tiffany, we talked about this yesterday. Tiffany confronted the Jokers about their votes because she keeps hearing these mixed messages about what they're doing. And it got kind of really tense. She wants them to be honest with Christian about how they're actually voting so that he'll know that he's going and he'll stop hassling her about her vote. So Brittany was really feeling the pressure here. She's crying. It's a lot. And Big D and Ozza did not like the way that Tiffany was talking to them and telling them what to do. And now there are major, major cracks in the Cookout Alliance. Oh my goodness. At one point last night, the night before, Big D was even telling the cameras that he wants Sarah Beth to win the HOH next week and take out Tiffany. Oh my God. Okay. So on a related note, Ozza let Christian know she's not planning on voting to keep him. She's hoping that this will stop all the drama now that she's making her vote known. So then Christian was ranting to Alyssa and Xavier. He's saying the other house guests are all morons and cowards. He's pretty sure that he's going home, but he's not going to give up yet. Xavier is encouraging him to continue campaigning because you never know what could happen. That is true. So Christian was campaigning to Tiffany yesterday in the Have Not room. And this was all going down like while we were doing yesterday's spoiler, which is just nuts. But the feeds were blocked for the beginning of this conversation. So I'm not sure, or I wasn't sure at the time, if he had unleashed Plan Z. And just a reminder, Plan Z entails feeding Tiffany's paranoia about Sarah Beth potentially being America's player, which she's not. He's going to tell her that he overheard Kyland asking Sarah Beth about splitting the money now that he knows her secret. Oh my God. And of course, this is made up. He did not overhear Kyland saying that. Sarah Beth is not America's player. But Christian is telling Tiffany if he stays that Derek X will target him again. And it would be him and Alyssa going up on the block, not anybody else. Nobody else would have to worry. He says, I would be a shield and a weapon for you, because if I won HOH, I would go after your targets. I mean, he's been saying that to like everybody, so you're going to have to disappoint somebody at some point. But Tiffany says, all right, you gave me a lot to think about. I like it, though. I didn't expect you to fight for yourself as you are. And she tells Christian, you're making some very valid points. So Christian continues, and he says, Sarah Beth took the $5,000 and is playing with people's emotions. And he's saying, I really want to stay. Okay, so Christian says also he wants a Final Four with Tiffany, Claire, and Alyssa, and he wants them to work with Xavier as well. So this is something that was discussed last week, and now it's coming up again. It's not going to happen. Okay, anyway, then the feeds cut, and there were a lot of feeds cutting yesterday. There's been a lot of that all week. But when they return, Tiffany is now in the HOH room with the chessboard. Uh-oh, not the chessboard. So get this. She actually locked the HOH room door. She locked Derek X out of his own HOH room. Oh my God. So he knocks on the door and she lets him in. She says, I've been thinking. I don't know if I trust your people. Also, Christian has been making some really good points. So Derek X is like, oh shit, here we go again. So he's like, all right, what is it? Tell me what you've been thinking. So Tiffany says that Christian is so green in this game that he's pretty honest with most people. So when he's talking to her, she feels like she has to believe what he's saying is true. She feels like he's being really honest. So Tiffany tells Derek X about the drama that went down with the Jokers the night before. She wants them to be honest with Christian about their votes, and she says things got really tense during the conversation. So Tiffany says she feels like from this, what would we call it? This situation that she was a part of, she feels like she really sees now that Brittany's emotion in this game is all an act, because Brittany was like crying in Tiffany's arms about this and about this decision. And she says Brittany knew what the plan was all week and she was still crying all over the place. And if she was actually upset, she would not be coming to me as her comfort person. We don't have that relationship. So she feels like Brittany is being fake AF. So Tiffany says she told Christian during her one-on-one with him that Brittany and Big D are lying to him about their votes because they are not planning on keeping Christian. Oh, so she really did it. She told Christian, oh my God. But she says Christian didn't believe it because he kept saying he has a deal with Brittany, and Brittany has been promising that she's voting to keep Christian. So then the feeds cut and we missed part of the conversation. We're missing very important plot points here. But anyway, up to this point in the conversation, Derek X was just taking it all in, not really adding anything. But now he's letting Tiffany know that Brittany is definitely voting Christian out. Because again, she's been in on this plan all week. Derek X has been keeping her in the loop to make this move happen. So he says, I don't think Brittany is going to throw out this entire week of us working together to take out Sarah Beth. He doesn't see that. He's like, there's no reason for us to take out Sarah Beth this week because Sarah Beth is going to go next week. She's a house target. So many people are going after her. So Derek X says, if we can't take out Christian now, this guy is never leaving the house. You know, we have him in such a great position to make this happen. And if we don't act on that, we suck. So Tiffany says, I don't know if I agree with that. She's claiming that she would put Christian up on the block next week if she won HOH. No effing way. There is no way that Tiffany would be the one to take out Christian and not next week. No. So Derek X is like, are you really thinking that Christian has the votes to stay? Because she's paranoid that Brittany is lying and she actually is going to keep Christian. Or he's asking, do you really just want Sarah Beth out? Thank you. And Tiffany says, it's both. She says, I really don't trust Brittany now after what went down. And DX again is insisting that Brittany is voting Christian out. Tiffany is not convinced. Okay, so Tiffany's also saying, I don't want Sarah Beth to have any advantage in this game that I don't have. Oh my God. She's talking about the America's Player rumor that she started. So she also says Sarah Beth has a strong influence over Derek X, and that makes her nervous. She says, Sarah Beth sat with you for 5 minutes this week, and you believed everything she said. Ooh. So Derek X is asking Tiffany, like, do you think you have more influence over Christian than Alyssa does? And Tiffany says she does, because Christian and Alyssa both listen to her. Oh my God. So we missed the end of this conversation because the feeds went down again. So annoying. But when the feeds came back, Tiffany and Xavier are chatting in the HOH room. So Tiffany says, I know if I make an argument for Christian to stay and he does end up staying, I'm going to lose Derek X. If I flip this house, I need to find a way to do it so that Derek X will still be with me. She's actually thinking about this right now. So she says Derek X is going to feel very uncomfortable with Christian in this house. You think? She says, unless I get Christian to agree not to go after Derek X next week. Why would Derek X ever think that that was actually going to happen, even if Christian did agree to it? Why would he trust that he's not going to come after him when he tried to make a move this week? Like, it doesn't make sense. But they go through some scenarios with the chessboard to see what could potentially happen if Sarah Beth goes. And they both agree that if Christian were to stay and win HOH, they would want him to put Kyland and Brittany up on the block. And then the cookout can just vote out Brittany. They were also talking about how if the cookout crumbles, Tiffany and Xavier want to work with Claire, Christian, Alyssa, and Hannah. And actually, it also sounded like even if the cookout didn't crumble, they still want to work with that group for as long as they can. Okay, so at one point, Tiffany says Kyland is playing all of them. She says, okay, Christian presented this to me, but I was also already thinking about it myself. So she says, I believe that there's a duo twist in the house and that Sarah Beth is a part of it. She says, I think in order for Sarah Beth to get her prize money for the twist, she has to have a duo. That's Kyland, and they're going to split the money together. Oh my God. So Christian did do his Plan Z bullshit. But it's working. You know, it is working. So then Tiffany and Xavier are agreeing they want to flip this vote and keep Christian. They're going to go for it. But Tiffany says in order for her to flip her vote and keep Christian, they need to make sure that Christian makes a deal with Derek X because she doesn't want to lose Derek X this soon. She wants to have her cake and eat it too. She wants to go against Derek X's wishes, but also still have him be cool with her. And they agree Brittany is going to need to be the target next week. This is freaking nuts, guys. So they feel they already have 4 votes because you got Xavier, Tiffany, Alyssa. Tiffany says Claire will vote with them. So now they're wondering who's going to be our 5th vote. And Tiffany thinks that they can get Big D to flip because he doesn't give an F. You know, he doesn't really care about the game. I don't know about that. But also, there's no way that Big D is going to do anything with Tiffany right now. He's so pissed at her. So Xavier says it's time to flip the house. You know, he's going to work on Big D while Tiffany works on Claire. Tiffany's like, I love this game. So after their conversation, Tiffany and Xavier get to work. Tiffany's talking to Claire. She's telling her about the plan to flip the vote and keep Christian. And Claire's like, yeah, I'm on board. She feels better about keeping Christian than she does Sarah Beth because she feels like Sarah Beth could come after her. They also feel like maybe the Jokers will change their votes when they find out that we're voting to keep Christian. I don't think so. So, in other news, Xavier updates Christian and Alyssa in the have-not room on what's going on with the votes. So Xavier says, I think it could be a 5-4 vote with Christian actually staying. And Xavier says, in order for everyone to feel good with this, we'd have to agree to get Brittany out next week. You know, we're calling a ceasefire with Derek X and his crew. We're all going to have to go for Brittany. So Christian very quickly is like, okay, fine. Like, let's do it. Damn, so quick to flip on his final 2, Brittany. But Xavier says it's just a 1-week truce and then anything goes. And it almost sounded like Alyssa was saying, like, we don't even have to follow through with that. But it was hard to hear what she was saying, so I could be wrong. But they're all pumped up that it seems like Christian really does have a chance here to stay. All right. Meanwhile, Derek X is in the yacht club bedroom with the Jokers. Okay, sorry. I just had to read somebody's update in the chat. So, yeah. Derek X is in the yacht club bedroom with the Jokers. Brittany, Azah, and Big D. And Brittany says, I'm now hearing from Christian that Tiffany and Claire are throwing us Jokers under the bus, saying that we're lying about our votes and we're not voting for him to stay. So she's also hearing that Tiffany and Claire are telling Christian that their votes are contingent on the Joker's votes. So the Jokers are freaking pissed because they feel like Tiffany and Claire are trying to make them look bad. They thought they took care of this whole situation with Azah telling Christian, like, I want you to go. And Brittany, I guess, said that she's voting with the house. I don't think that was enough, though. I think she needed to tell him straight up, like, no. But Derek X says at the end of the day, Hannah and Kyland are voting out Christian. So as long as you three follow through, Christian's going to be going no matter what. So Big D's like, I'll take care of it right now. I'll go and tell Christian that he's going. Again, the Jokers thought this issue was resolved this morning when Azah told Christian she's not voting for him to stay. So Big D says Tiffany is just trying to cover her ass and Claire's ass at this point. And he says Tiffany acted the F up last night, and now she's still acting the F up. And he says, I've stayed in my room all day, so I don't pop the F off. Don't you guys love when I say F instead of the real F word? I just can't bring myself to say the F word in these videos. But Big D is saying again, he's going to sit Christian down. He's going to look him in his pretty blue eyes and say, no one is voting for you to stay. Everyone is bullshitting you with these conversations, trying to throw each other under the bus. But he wants to tell Christian, enjoy your last day spending time with Alyssa, Xavier, whoever you want to spend time with. But, like, we need to move on from this. So, woo! Okay, so Derek X is asking, do you guys want to just talk to Tiffany and Claire and confirm what you're doing? Maybe that would be easier. And Big D does not. He does not want to talk to Tiffany right now. He is not happy with her. So Big D leaves to go and find Christian to tell him that he's going. Oh my God. And Derek X is like, oh my God, what if Derek F runs into Tiffany along the way? And Big D says, I don't even know her. Who's that? Tiffany? What? That's some big Mariah Carey energy right there. But anyway, Big D goes upstairs to find Christian. He does not. And instead, Xavier finds Big D. So Xavier says, earlier today, I told you that I thought Christian was going 100% by a vote of 7-2. But I don't think that's happening anymore. So Big D is just like, he says, X, I don't know what you want me to do at this point. So Xavier says, I don't think Tiffany and Claire are voting Christian out anymore. And he says, if you vote against Christian, I don't think you're going to be in the majority. And he says, I'm telling you this because I said that I would look out for you from day one. Are you looking out for him right now, though? Because I don't think so. But Xavier says, I can make sure that you and Azah would not be targeted next week, but Brittany might. Might? Come on. So he's being a little creative with what he's saying to Big D. So Xavier says, if Christian stays, that Derek X and Christian can take shots at each other. That's going to be more safety for the cookout. They'll make it deeper into the game. But Big D says, Xavier, you need to remember that Alyssa and Christian are always going to put each other first. So you are not going to be their first priority. You need to look out for yourself. And Big D says, my gut is telling me we got to take out Christian this week. Because if it comes down to him choosing between you and me, he's always going to pick you. And Xavier is like, oh, well, I'll take out Christian myself. Come on. So Big D seems to have a counter argument for each of Xavier's arguments. He is not putting up with this. He's like, no. He says he is so over Christian and Alyssa at this point. He says, we need to take out a threat. You want to take out Sarah Beth? No. We've got Christian up on the block. We need to get him while we can. So he also brings up that everyone in the cookout has their person or whatever. And everyone's going to need to lose their person in order for the cookout to get to the final 6 together. So Derek F says, I'm going into jury with no one right now. He's the only one that doesn't have a set person in the way that everybody else in the cookout does. So he's like, why would I leave 2 people in jury for you? No offense, because right now Xavier has Alyssa and Christian. So it's not fair to everybody else in the cookout. And then the feeds go down for 20-something minutes. So we didn't get to see the rest of that. And we also missed, during that time, a freaking argument. So it sounds like Tiffany was talking to Claire and Christian up in the HOH room, and she sent Christian to go get Brittany, bring her back up to talk to them. And Big D and Azah were like, no, we are sick of Brittany getting cornered about her vote, being grilled about her vote. So Big D and Azah went up to the HOH room with Brittany, and Tiffany was like, what the hell is this? I just wanted to talk to Brittany. And they were like, no, you can talk to all of us. If we're all on the same page, why don't we all talk together? So I guess they got into it, and it got heated. Oh my God. So hopefully we'll get to see that on tonight's episode, since we didn't get to see it on the feeds. But the feeds came back with Tiffany, Claire, and Derek X in the HOH room, and Tiffany is still heated. Derek X is asking Tiffany, so do you want to keep Christian? Because it seems like you do. And Tiffany admits, yes, she does. Ugh. So she says, I'm not even flip-flopping here, because I've wanted Sarah Beth to go home since the beginning of the week. I acknowledge that, you got to do what you got to do, and it's better for your game to take out Christian. But for me, I've always wanted Sarah Beth to go. So Tiffany says she's on fire right now. She is livid. She needs a cigarette, a shot of tequila, or Xanax to calm down. And she says, all I asked was to talk to Brittany. And then the 3 of them came in here, like me and Claire, we're going to jump Brittany. So Tiffany says, I don't like it. I'm not sure if it's that Brittany is uncomfortable talking to me, or if Big D and Azah think that Brittany is so effing weak that they have to protect her from me, like I'm going to mind F her in this bedroom. Well, were you? Because I'm sure Tiffany was going to try and convince Brittany to keep Christian. Duh. So DX tells Tiffany, you should probably avoid Big D right now, because I don't want you to blow up your game because of this situation. So Tiffany's like, at this point, I just want to do the opposite of whatever Big D and Azah want to do. Yikes. Okay. Uh-oh. Okay, meanwhile, Xavier checks in with Hannah and Kyland in the have-not room. And Xavier is bringing up the possibility of keeping Christian this week. And Hannah is staunchly opposed. She is holding her ground. She says Christian has been promising everybody safety for an extended period of time this week. So he's got to be lying to somebody, right? And he could end up nominating me and Kyland if he's targeting Derek X and he's trying to get, the people close to him. What if Derek X wins the power veto? It could be 2 cookout members up on the block. So they also discuss how Christian and Alyssa are highly unlikely to throw a competition if they ask them to. And Kyland says, you know what, though? Sarah Beth, she's saying she would throw the HOH if the vote is 7-2 for her to stay. Okay. So after all the madness, Xavier and Tiffany are chatting in the HOH room. And actually, she gave Xavier a rundown of the whole fight too. And I wanted to mention that she was talking about what happened, and she was like, oh yeah, and Carla, what's her name? She couldn't remember Claire's name. Yeah. She must have been really upset if she's forgetting people's names. So Xavier says, all right, look, we tried our scheme. Shit got blown up because of Big D and Azah. And he says, now we need to look at this and figure out what's going to be best for the cookout as a whole. And Xavier says, I've already gone around now and I've asked every member of the cookout who they want to go this week. And he says, everyone except for us, said that they want Christian out, which means it's 4-2 within the cookout. So us being the 2, like, we got to bow out. We can't be pushing for this. So Tiffany's like, that's fine. I'm cool with that. But she says, I have a problem with how Big D and Azza came at me. She says, I would never do that to them. What? Are you serious right now? I'm sorry. But we have seen Tiffany talk down to Azza so many times. I mean, they've both done it to each other. They both have issues with each other. But yeah, they can't see when they're doing it themselves. So Xavier says, we're all going to need to get on the same page with that stuff. You know, we need to keep our alliance together. And Xavier's also saying we can take out Sarah Beth next week. Okay. So then Xavier and Hannah were both trying to do damage control last night within the cookout. They are definitely the glue holding this group together. And they were checking in with all the upset parties and trying to make sure that they're still on board to work together. And they're reminding each other what they're trying to accomplish. You know, they have a bigger mission here than just winning. So everybody they were talking to was like, yeah, I'm still on board. Like, cook out to the end. Sure. Okay. So there was still a lot of tension in the house ever since the incident with Tiffany and the Jokers. So Xavier decided to call a house meeting to play Mafia. Don't freaking say you're having a house meeting and then play Mafia. Like, no one wants to hear about your stupid bucket hat bandits. I'm so sick of it. But Xavier is trying to diffuse the tension here. So everybody plays the game for a little bit. It was annoying. I'm sorry, but it was annoying. Okay. So even after all of that, all the drama of yesterday, Tiffany was still telling Christian that there is a chance that he could stay because she didn't get to have her conversation with Brittany yet about her vote. Oh my God, Tiffany, stop! So of course, hearing this, Christian continues putting the pressure on Brittany, and he's telling her, if you vote for me to stay, I'll stay. Like, it comes down to you. So then Alyssa joins in, and she's telling Brittany, okay, Tiffany's going to come to you and ask you about your vote. All you have to do is tell her that you're voting to keep Christian, and he'll stay, because then Tiffany and Claire will also be on board. So I got to say, too, Brittany said earlier in the evening that she was going to shut down any more talk about her vote because it has started affecting her physical health. She's getting like stomach aches. She's having heart palpitations and all whatever. So she said she was going to do that. She did not shut it down. She still was in the mix here. So then Brittany went crying in the yacht club bedroom and she called in Xavier to comfort her. And Brittany says, I have a lot of pressure on me. And now she's saying that she does want Christian to stay, but she's afraid of the consequences if she flips her vote. So then Brittany talks to Tiffany. They're discussing the vote. And again, it seems like Brittany is interested in flipping her vote, but Tiffany now is the one saying, like, we can't do this after everything that happened. If we had talked a few hours ago, like I was planning, maybe we could have done this. But after everything that's gone down, we can't. I have a feeling that a lot of that has to do with the conversation that Xavier had with her saying, like, look, the cookout, it's 4-2. We can't go against that. So they agree they're going to vote Christian out. Can't risk their games for him right now. Oh, my God. So then, now that they've seemingly decided that Christian is going to go, Tiffany lets Sarah Beth know, we didn't have our one-on-one conversation, but I just want you to know your ass has been spared one more week. Yes, that is the real wording she used. She said, your ass has been spared one more week. That is like, I feel like that's not good. Like, you don't talk to somebody who's staying and could potentially win HOH next week like that. That's nuts. But on the flip side, Claire talks to Christian and she lets him know she can't vote to keep him. She says he fought really hard. He had some great points in his campaign. But she can't keep him. She suspects the other votes are not there to make it happen. So after that, Christian tells Alyssa and Xavier that he doesn't have those votes and there's only one thing left for him to try and do. He wants to have a house meeting. Because he feels like people do want to vote for him to stay, and the votes are there, but they're all too scared to do it. They don't have it all laid out on the table like there's going to be enough votes there. So he wants it all out there. He wants to call out Sarah Beth, Kyland, and Derek X as the strongest trio in the house. If they were such a strong trio, why would Derek X nominate Sarah Beth in the first place? It wouldn't make sense. But anyway, he's like really excited about this. He wants to do it. And Xavier's like, I don't know. Alyssa said she was 50-50 about it. She was like, yeah, it could be good. Like, it could work. And Xavier's like, no, absolutely not. He's trying to talk Christian out of it because he says, if you do that, there's a really good chance you're going to hurt my game and Alyssa's game. And Christian's like, what about my game? And Xavier really feels that the chance of it actually helping Christian's game is so small compared to the chance of it destroying Xavier and Alyssa's game. So he's also saying it might just backfire and piss people off more because it's been a really long day already. It sure has. So Christian agrees, fine, I'm not going to do it. And it seemed like last night, but then today, Christian's still campaigning like crazy. He's trying to convince Hannah to keep him. He wants Hannah to talk to DX for him. Hannah's not going to bite. No way. So yeah, there was lots of pitching from Christian, but it looks like he's going to go. And I'm assuming the vote is going to be 7-2. But I wouldn't be surprised if Tiffany still threw him a vote. I wouldn't be surprised at all if she did that. But who knows? It does look like he will be leaving, though. So that was a lot. That was a lot of flip-flopping. But anyway, hello.
Oh, hi.
We're going to have a new HOH tonight. Bowie! Bowie's the HOH. We're going to have a new HOH.
2 pages.
Yes. Okay. We're going to find out We're going to find out from Julie what the new twist is going to be that America's involved in. Yeah, Jelly. So that's exciting. Let me know in the comments who you guys are rooting for HOH this week. Who do you want? Brittany. That would be pretty wild.
Brittany or...
I think a Derek F HOH could be a lot of fun.
Yes. Or Azza.
Or Azza, yeah. So basically, we would like to see the Jokers win HOH.
Team Fun Feeds.
Yeah, it would be nuts. All right. So I want to thank all of our super chatters because you guys are awesome. And we couldn't do this without you. So Jody Cortez, thank you so much. And he says last night, bless you. Last night, is it B-Day?
Birthday shout-outs. Classic.
Oh, wait. Is it your birthday? Or you mean like during the episode when they kept saying to Sarah Beth, like, happy birthday?
Yeah.
That was pretty funny. I did enjoy that because she could not stop talking about how it was her birthday.
My birthday?
Okay. Noni KOK? Is that how you say it? I hope so. Thank you so much for the super chat. So kind of you. Susan Pengilly. I'm really screwing up the names tonight. I'm so sorry. My eye is burning. But thank you so much for the super chat. Sarah. Thank you so much for the super chat. Michelle C. Thank you so much for the super chat. Yeah, pot calling the kettle black for sure. Tiffany, we've seen her fake cry and talk about it on the show. I think that's why she suspects a lot of other people are fake crying because she knows that she's doing it.
Azza fake cry?
What?
She would lay in Azza's lap
and
fake cry?
Absolutely. Nick Silverstein, thanks so much for the super chat. He says, glad that Alyssa and Christian are being split up. Frenchie was right. I mean, I'm glad to see them split up too. We don't need that. We don't need that showmance going into jury.
We don't need that showman's entitlement.
Yeah, for sure. Julie's Heart, thank you so much for the super chat. Michelle, thank you so much for the super chat. She says, been watching for years. Look forward to these every day. Thank you so much for sticking with us. That's awesome. Justin Tanner, thank you so much for the super chat. And he asks, is Tiffany the next Amanda? I mean, Tiffany is definitely all over the place. I feel like I would compare her more to Vanessa. I think Vanessa from season 17. But I could see some Amanda as well. Jessica Noe, thank you so much for the support. And yes, it is a time commitment, but I'm glad that you guys are enjoying it this season. Caleb Corinta, thank you so much for the super chat. And he asks, Who do you want to win HOH? He would like to see Sarah Beth. And we're saying jokers, but I think Sarah Beth could be interesting as well. I'd be curious to see. I think she would target Alyssa, but I'm not 100% sure on that.
Alyssa and Derek X.
I don't know. I think I heard her saying at one point she would put up Alyssa and Hannah, but Alyssa would be the target. So I don't know. But Andy W., thank you so much for the super chat. And Andy says, glad Azza and Big D are playing. Tiffany is playing too hard. I have been enjoying Azza and Big D lately, actually. For a while, I was kind of like, what are you guys even doing? But I've been enjoying them on a game level and on like a fun level.
Big Blue Couch Committee.
Yeah. Susie Lloyd, thank you so much for the super chat. You're awesome. And Michelle, thank you for the super chat. And I see we also have Travell K in the house. And Travell K says, I'm so enjoying this season and your updates make it all the better. Thanks again for all you do. Oh, thank you.
I love it.
You are wonderful. I just want to get you on this list so we can thank you again tomorrow. Okay. Maddie L asks, they say I have a great voice. Have I ever considered getting into voiceover work? I would love to get into voiceover work. I've been wanting to do that for years, but I like
running joke at this house.
Yeah. But I like don't even know how you would go about doing that. Because I do a lot of voices, a lot of weird voices, but it would be such a cool job.
Do you know anyone?
You got any connections?
Do you know Clem Fandango?
Yeah. Let me know if you got any voiceover connections, because I would definitely be down to do that. Oh, TV Talks with Tom is in the house. Yay. What up, Tom? I know the updating over the last few days has been crazy work. I hope you are staying sane, getting rest, staying hydrated.
Have a red Popeye like you.
Yeah, I need to take this contact out. This is freaking me out. But if you guys are not already watching Tom's videos, check him out because he's awesome. And he has a British accent, which is a lot of fun.
Exactly.
And a shout out to all of our YouTube friends who do such great work every season. Jolene Lunzer, Nerdtainment, Sarah from Nerdtainment. Honestly, Busy Blue, Honestly Honecker, Miranda, Matt and Jess Carter, of course. You guys are lovely, such sweet people. Jess Milagros.
You know what? Everybody in this community is wonderful.
Yeah, definitely. But they're our friends.
It's good to have friends.
Yeah, so big shout outs to all of them if you guys are not already following them.
Big up yourselves.
Yes. Oh, Maddie says he's getting into voiceover work. So maybe in the future. Yeah, let me know. Let me know if you have any connections.
We can set up a studio.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're going to get out of here because I need to take care of this and, try to breathe a little bit before tonight's episode. But we'll see you all later for the Eviction episode recap. Also, I need to get in the pool because it's freaking hot as hell here. But
yeah, I think it's hotter than hell.
Yeah, I know.
Hell might be colder.
I know. So we'll see you all later. Thanks again for watching. And until next time, much love.